Okay, now there was so much more, like I said, in that dream, and it had to do with release of the harvest, the wealth, and it was talking about it. It was talking about foundations. There was a lot of significance in that dream that I can't really get into at this time. But anyways, I'm just going to go to the next thing here. So now I'm going to take you to talking about this third level again that he's taking us on into. So and why is so crucial for us right now when this visitation comes to be able to go into it. Okay, so in 1989, I was taken into a revelatory encounter, and I was shown three levels of Christianity. And when I get taken into these kinds of realms, that whole atmosphere changes. I suddenly am just seeing it. I don't see it with my eyeballs. I'm seeing it right down here, but it's also the Lord will audibly talk to me or audibly, just clear as day. It's not a guessing game or anything like that. It's very clear, and then he just I suddenly, it's just a realm opens up and I could just see it all. I just know it all. It's like a deep level of perception, and you can put the pictures to it clear as day. Okay, so that's kind of how it works with these. So 1989, I was taken into this revelatory encounter, and first the Lord asked me a question, and that's what opened it up. I was actually worshiping Him as it happened. I was actually working at a racehorse farm, and I was grooming a racehorse, and while I was doing that, he asked me, Curly, what gets you into this high place with me? Because, his realm was around me and things like that. And I was like, well, worship, Lord, like, focusing on you and, abiding in you. And, but he asked me specifically music. Now, in the background, there's pop music playing, Christian pop music in the barn, because I had it playing, because I worked there. But I told him, well, it's not that. It's this worship. It's this high level of worship that's getting me in this place with you. So then suddenly these three levels popped down, appeared to me, and I was taken into Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It's different levels of conformity to the image of Christ. Okay? So again, you have these three levels. You have the good, the acceptable, and the perfect. Now, if you look up the word good, it's going to mean a little bit different from what you might think the word good means. So I ask, you can do that on your own time. But Romans chapter 12, 2. So in these three levels, suddenly the Lord interaudibly, he asked me, implored me, like, please, almost like a begging me, like, please, Cornelia, like endearing me, please, I need you to live in this third level with me. He wanted me to come into that third level with him, of constant abiding, that place of rest, the tabernacle of David. And then he showed me right after. Okay, and I'm into evangelism at that time. I'm into saving souls. I was not into prophetic, like, futuristic stuff. Okay, but he shows me into the future, and I saw geographical catastrophes, and these were on high catastrophic levels. Okay, so it wasn't just like a little flood or whatever. It was like momentous geographical disasters that were going to happen. Then he showed me plagues. Okay. Then he showed me wars, and then fourthly he showed me, and this one's interesting, deceptions. Okay, deceptions that even Christians were going to would the ones that weren't living in this place with him would be duped into. All right, so now that could be on a few fronts that those deceptions come from different areas. But anyhow, so those are the four areas he showed me. And then he was given to let me know that the ones that were living in the outer court, and even just the ones that were not living in this third level, this third realm, this third level that he's offering all of us, but we have the choice to come into this third level or third realm. They were kept they were not able to overcome at this time when these things were being on the earth. Not saying this is the tribulation. In fact, I don't think necessarily was. I think it's part of the Jacob's trouble, even leading up to the tribulation. Part of it could be in the tribulation, probably is. But I'm okay. I won't go there anyway right now. But in any case, now he definitely let me know I would be alive at that time, and he asked me personally, please, Cornelia, in other words, he doesn't want, now he tells me this to tell you this, he doesn't want any of us to get left on those second or even bottom rung levels. It's not his choice. You know, it's your choice. God always provides. He's the God of more than enough. So as the darkness gets darker, it says grace will much more abound. Where the sin gets darker, it says in Romans, grace does much more abound. That's not mercy. People get mercy mixed up with grace, okay? Grace is God's ability, his ability to come down inside and through you to walk it out. That it's his ability through you. By grace you're saved, that not of yourselves. Okay, by grace you're saved through faith. But any level of grace that he pours out on us, it's his ability. So, you know, when it says those that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. Well, that word wait actually means becoming one with God. In essence, it's a braiding where you can't tell them apart, where you become one, you're synced with him, okay? So in this third level, later in 2007 and 2008, he actually took me into it and shocked me. But we became so one with them. I'm going to share this a little bit later, but we were spirit, soul, and body, okay? Might freak you out, but we were spirit, soul, and body. We came into perfect alignment with him in every area, okay, in this third level. So those ones that came into this third level, they overcame. They overcame. They were the ones in Daniel that it talks about in that day. They shall be strong and do exploits. Okay, these are those ones. Okay, so now actually, what the Lord was showing me in the last couple of weeks, and now is being confirmed to me, is I'm actually listening to others as well that are getting the same download, but is the wilderness. He kept telling me the church is still in the wilderness. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I was getting different takes on it. But basically, in the wilderness, in July, I'll take us back here to July of this year. In July of this year, when I saw these tornadoes, he was telling me this is what the move of God is going to be, Cornelia. This move is going to come like a tornado, okay? So number one, a tornado can't be controlled, okay? Man doesn't have his fingers on it because you can't tame a tornado. You can't harness the winds of a tornado. Okay, so this is something God's going to do and God's going to build and God's going to take apart. And while he's taking things apart, he's going to build what he's building. And this will be a building made by the master builder himself. He says in Haggai chapter 2, you know, when he comes to visit us at that time, he will glorify the house of his glory. He's going to glorify the house of his glory.